All right, guys. Last game for KC versus KFO, which is crazy to think that these guys could not take them to a game 3, but here we are. So the comps that they're playing, Jason's at Sion. I mean, he can get advantage into Sion. Sion is actually one of the better champs to play into Jace. So I'm kind of curious how Rest will do. We have a Brand, which, I mean, Italy is a way better pick, just to say. For how the game should be played and everything, Nidalee a better pick. Brand suffers a lot of issues with just, if your spells are down, you're useless. You know, he's good into Seju and Sion long term, right? Just not my favorite pick here. Yon into Talia, it's doable, it's fine. Very competitive bot lane, Varus Nautilus versus MF Rel. So it's just based on however these guys play the skills, the skill matchup out. But really the big thing is they just to make sure that they're taking the right fights and they're focusing on the right people. If KC can't do that, they'll probably just lose.
Now, as the drafts kind of even themselves out, are we going to get a better performance out of KC?
Here's what I will say, naturally, as a new pundit, minds things out. KC simplify. Go for a draft that seems easy on paper to execute and rely on the fact that you can believe yourself to be the position.
So if you notice, KFO, they're surrounding the right side of mid, so you know for sure there's no ward there. This guy just throws his W in right away versus just kind of being a little patient, and yeah, he kind of just lost some HP. Looks like Kaliz took a Q to the face off a rebound, but they have control. Okay, cool. You know, they have a ward on Raptors, so they know when Brand's gonna pop up. And interesting enough, we see Seju actually looking for the cheese, and it's because they covered this area. They know there's no ward here, so it's all they're good to go. They can just go and send it. Kaliz actually walks up awkwardly, and this guy can't trade onto MF quite yet. And that's pretty bad because for how this turned out, he can't really hook this guy without this guy just flashing. If he flashes forward and he hooks over here, he's dead. He's dead before the Knot can even do anything. So the Knot at this point has to auto hook flash auto, which is not ideal. But since Seju showed up, it's even more secure that he's just dead. He's just dead. There's nothing he can do. Meanwhile, top lane, oh, they have Driver in instead of Rest, which is, I didn't even notice that. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Oh, holy shit. They're using a sub. Oh, he's doing well. I'll say that. He's definitely doing well.
He has picked some random, which is by far one of the greatest people. I agree. But just the audio. The fact that he just walks around. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's just disappointing. Every word he says is exactly what you need to hear every given moment.
So, if you notice, Seju skipped her blue so she could steal the top crab, which is really rough for Yike. Oh god, you lost both crabs? That blows. And he wastes time walking towards it. I don't know why Seju wanted to look top briefly. I know his conditions were bad, but both TP's on. It's better to just focus on your camps. So they're building a bot wave, right? They do the Krugs, and instead of going upwards and then playing around mid, he's going through bot, which is fine. They notice that the blue's up, they contest it, get his flash. Talia kind of just R's in randomly, which doesn't make much sense. And at this point, so the one thing that sucks is they can get a cheater recall, or they can basically fast push in base pretty easily, which, yeah, I mean, that sucks. Giving that kind of opportunity does suck. However, the upside is, if you look at top, this is chillin', and since this guy just used R and he has the base, and the Yon can stay on the map a little bit longer, they can play for grubs. This is definitely a thing they can do. They can just play for grubs.
KC hesitant to commit to the play.
So he protects the bot just in case the Seju's there. And also, keep in mind the Rel. So Doggo does get the base, but he actually took a little bit longer to do the base. And to me, the Rel probably has to stay on bot to hold the wave, at the very least. And yeah, I mean, the outcome is just their solos, while equally low, have better, like stay on the map a little bit longer just in case if something happens. So Yike is able to actually just start this and get it. Now his Nautilus has not based yet. You know, he did this just to make sure that this was like a guarantee. And we actually see Doggo actually flipped upwards for this too, but their Talia is late. So if they were gonna do this, and you know, keep in mind, Yon also like stayed just to make sure, and they got the whole thing. So that's a huge win for KC. Big win for KC. That's definitely not a win for KC though.
If you don't feel like it, and they can put their focus towards the dragon.
I mean, this guy has full sums. He's fucked. It is what it is. It's not the worst. Haha, dude, cute. He's diveable. They're not gonna go for it though. That's not bad. So Nautilus dying and losing all of his sums for those ultis is not the worst. This does mean that Brand can actually play for the dragon. They should, because they're down ults. Like that's pretty much the way I can see it. It's just like they should be able to play for the drag. He's basing for what? He doesn't have Leandries, does he? No, he doesn't have Leandries, so why can't we play for this?
Really just wanted to take that one down and deliver some money over to Vladdy.
Jace conditions are low.
Situation.
Case is gonna run top.
Difficult.
Nearly on the map now.
Money on Misfortune.
I mean, it's Ginger's world and we're just living in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The man gets
I mean, low-key, the
level
Varus should just
six,
base.
he immediately sets its sights
I mean, like, should he actually do the next wave top? Should he?
This man is just so
Because it's annoying because they get tempo on their duo lane. Because technically the Varus should be on the map first, going towards bot with Nautilus, and they should be able to get the drag. But the fact that this guy's basing, I mean, it's all delayed. I mean, he bought the items, but personally, if I was Brand, I'd want to just stay on the map until I bought Leandries. So I feel like the base by Brand is not good.
They're a little bit ways off. But atomization very quickly starting to come through.
So let's see if they actually get around to... I mean, because the ults are back up now. So the timing's gone. They can fight again. Definitely some Canna gaming.
Well, he is walking around somewhat in range, actually, but it's going to be Yike that wins the
no one can get into there. That's interesting. Wow. Was that right? Wait, was that correct way to do this? Because yeah, like obviously they're gonna fight. Also, it's a little weird that Hongq goes for the next wave because personally, if you know they're starting this, Hongq should not be on this. Like he should be able to wall them, and they should actually be able to initiate and play forward from Seju's line. So Hongq's inting. And yeah, like this guy can't really reach this. Where was the Verisar placed? He used Q on the dragon. Oh, and it was a 50-50 too, technically.
Ginger, I don't think you can contest this. Well,
so it was a little... I like how he says, I don't think they can contest this, but I'm thinking to myself, like, yeah, of course they can contest this. Why couldn't they? I mean, you could say that maybe this guy should initiate on the Sejuani because of what the Talia's doing. And then these guys fall back. Maybe that's the way you do it. He E's, fights this guy. If he gets hit, maybe you can Verisar and you play it off that way, and then this guy holds him, and maybe that's how you play it. But if you don't initiate on the Seju, it's pretty awkward. And since you used the Q this way, they should run. Like, I feel like you should definitely just run. Because he Verisars, which is bad. So Kalist actually ints his ulti. Otherwise, if he didn't int his ulti, technically he could have ulti Doggo. But he doesn't have Q. Right? I don't think he would have Q up yet, so I don't think they ever kill him, so you can't really R him either. Targ goes on this guy, which doesn't do anything. I do find it interesting that he R'd Varus versus just R'ing Targ. Because he has no flash. So I feel like you'd rather just hit him. So I feel like this is a little weird. He also could just auto the Nautilus. And if you look on the left side, so they do finally go onto the Seju, right? I mean, this guy's throwing, the Seju's throwing R to trying to delay them, knowing that this situation's happening. And the Brand throws his R but he doesn't stay near Seju to let it keep bouncing, so the bounce ends early. And then at that point, yeah, like, they just played that poorly. And the Scion did have TP, and he definitely wanted that. But despite Scion's TP, like, nothing would have came from this. Like, the Scion actually could have just been top, and they would have gotten a kill, but they would have lost nothing. I mean, that's kind of cringe that he died that way, not gonna lie. Brand has no mana. Just base. What are you doing? Just base. I have no idea why he's there. No idea. So now, even if Nautilus was the only one who died, Nautilus death, but you got Dragon, and you got plates top. That's actually a good deal for KC. Despite everything, it's a good deal. But Brand dying as well? Like, that's annoying.
Now going to be the focus here. KC already with 3 under their belt, as Driving going to get booped back here by Canna.
Who has sums? Varus full sums, so he feels confident standing in front of them. Rel actually has flash. That's obnoxious. Her ulti's gonna come up soon too. They're waiting for Seju ulti to come up. They're hoping it delays enough that they can wait on these spells. Also, Vladdy is very low. Vladdy just ate shit from Talia. That's unfortunate. Now he's initiating on Talia to make her eat shit, but she still has first move over him.
That is grub number 1. CFO still haven't pulled the trigger
Stole
just
one.
yet, though, Doggo securing one of them. So
their ultis are backed up. So if they want to fight, they can fight. There it is. There's the flash play. These guys need to get away from Scion, though. Oh no, the Scion's doing so much work.
Remember, we're the team that gets all of the kills as Targamas going to be the first one to be taken down. He also
is he dead off that? No way.
Put in prison, but not going to quite be enough. The
no fucking way.
Unable to kill one of them, so it's maximum 5.
Doggo does not have R yet. And Honkyu is trying to stop the Yone from entering, which is like... My only thing is, if he knows, because I don't know if he knows the Yone R timer, but if he does, and they were fishing for this, if he's just involved in this play, these guys are so fucked. Like, if he actually gets a combo play on top of this, they just get they're 3-0'd. Maybe Varus picks one, but they're 3-0'd. That's it.
Collect them. There we go.
And the Verisar is coming up, but how does he use it?
Pull the trigger just yet though, Doggo securing one of them, so it's maximum 5. And that is going to be what happens. Chains of corruption come through. One of them, so it's maximum 5. And that is going to be what happens. Chains of corruption come through, but Kaiwing.
I mean, Doggo ints this. I don't know.
That is going to be what happens.
Like, when I'm looking at this, if this guy was ready to pump, this is so good. This is so good by Kaiwing. It's so good by him. CFO was just not ready to make enough out of this, unfortunately, and it is what it is.
And it's a double here for Yike. Jun just enough. The Winters row any for
1k gold lead over the positioning, but CFO means they're 1
and they know this guy has flash too, by the way, so like, there's really no point on going on the Scion. Like, there really isn't. Like, you definitely don't want to empty your spells into the Scion. I don't know. That's just rough. That's definitely Targ's error. I think Kalist is also not having... Like, their bot lane is playing bad again, unfortunately. What were the good games they played? Zeri and... Kaisa. Is he only good on those kinds of picks? I wonder.
This time round with a multi-damage threat in the front of
Yone wants to push out another wave. Dragon's coming up and Yone is on the top wave. We're not doing the dragon. I mean, it's not. We're not doing dragon. Like,
in that there are
With Herald coming up in 40,
right? And I think that's
would it not make more sense at this point? Especially because you're probably not going to kill the Scion unless like you're poised to fight the Scion with Bran. But wouldn't you rather just go up for the top crab? It actually feels so weird. It feels so weird to be playing on this as KC.
There is a scary front line that they have to deal with, but they have the
At the very least, you should be contesting this way later, not now. So he kind of just killed himself. Yikes! Like he just killed himself. And so what CFO did is because the way they're using their TP advantages in this situation is we strong arm the dragon and then we'll TP recover the other lane. Right? So they just needed patience, and if they did lose the dragon, at least they can get top. I mean, dude, I've been there. I've been there before. Like, you're trying to contest as the Varus, and you just get it. Like, or like as just a mobile AD, can't really sit in MFR. Yeah, I mean, he's just it does a lot of damage. He just has to get the fuck out of there.
You're not going to be able to interrupt that ulti there as Junja gets over the wall, flashes back immediately as he
you're such a funny dude. You're so funny, dude. I love it.
Junja at about 50%, dueling this Kentech Drake driving it.
We don't even need the Scion art here, by the way. Just hold the Scion art. The Jace actually gets space to walk in, and yeah, he shouldn't have done this. If he did this, though, the Scion has flash. I mean, technically, the Scion actually could flash for him. Maybe it's not Junja's issue. Maybe it's Driver's issue, because if Driver flashes on top of Kalist, he's dead. Yeah, I guess so. The only thing I don't like, yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, Scion losing his flash is not a big deal. Should've went for it. So it's not Junja's issue, it's, Scion, Drivers. Hey, they got dragged. I mean, of course, the Yone walked down, so in the end, they took top turret and denied some CS, but, yo, I'll take the drag if I'm, KC. So we have the Herald, and naturally everyone's gonna fight for the Herald.
Yeah, crash down there from Kaiwing, going the wrong direction though, as Canna might be the one that they're looking for.
Why is Canna dying?
Now trapped in the pit as Canna sees an angle, and they're able to.
I'm looking at the bottom left. We're throwing a hook at Rel. So now the Nautilus is caught. He had the flash, and was it just an OP Leah W? Oh, he walked back into it. No, Canna, no. He just had to run, but he actually walked back into it. So, unfortunate. That's pretty bad. Unfortunate. I mean, Canna is definitely more present again in this game. So, that's the upside. And yeah, he has a lead. But I am pretty happy that he actually is doing more. Unfortunately, for Laddie, is they did the Herald, and once they do the Herald, they have empowered recall, and naturally they're gonna recover bot, right? Like you pushed out top, we're gonna recover bot. He went one step too far and killed himself. So the issue that Vladdy is having in these games is he's just like some of his tracking on the map is just like failing. And because this is happening, it's just not working, man.
Like the first 4 kills of the game, Junja gonna be
it's just not working. And once again, we are in another game where the enemy Talia is really ahead. She is doing super well. And for this, like, I mean, they just pushed out top, right? The Scion is not showing on the next bot wave. This implies to me that they're playing for the next mid wave. My Yone is on base. My Yone is on base. This turret is 1 HP. They're quite clearly going to play for this. Didn't respect it. Lost the flash. So this have been worse? He fished the R on Yike. It's a good flash by both. But I mean, the brand is not really. He's doing okay. It's not great. It's definitely not great. Because he's very prone to a lot of these plays. So instead of doing the drag, they were worried about the Otacon.
And like you were saying, like
they have TP on Talia.
Yeah, and
they have a ward on Otacon. What? Just do the dragon. What are they so worried about? Just do the dragon. I mean, you have a ward on Otacon, but they roll up the top side. So, and it's not like Baron is spawning, so there's no worry on that. It's a little weird. I mean, they do it in a sense that like they're making sure that there's no chance that Otacon can be lost, but based on what I'm seeing on the map, I don't think there was any chance of it being lost either.
As far as giving you that lead, Honku just put his he just put his Leandris together, so he does a lot of damage, but they look for...
Oh my god. So they're trying to trap. Both their solos are on base. So whoever walks in, especially because Talia is like showing on the wave, you don't see where anyone else is.
As far as giving you that lead,
like, this is spooky. Like, no one's showing on the bot wave. It's spooky. Your solos are not here yet.
He just put his Leandris.
He missed the hook.
So he does a lot of damage. That lead.
He missed the hook. I mean, what makes the most sense is to throw the hook and then just like hit him with spells and run. That's all that matters. But he missed, and the Rao pulled the mid, and the brand has no flash. So why the fuck is the brand in melee range? It's not a bad idea, actually, by them. It's not like the worst idea. The only downfall is that, like, again, what if Seju's in a better position? You're gonna 1-for-1 this? You're gonna use all your spells in 1-for-1? What if Brand gets caught? What if Varus gets caught? They have no flash. So, like, the idea is there, but, like, God, it just turned out horrible. Dead. Yon TP'd. And Yon's just TP'ing just because he's like, oh shit, I need to be here. But the reality is, if I'm looking at this, I don't know, he TP'd right away. Probably should have waited a little bit. I mean, I understand why he TP'd. Canna did not. But fuck. Yikes. Yeah, yikes. Yikes and yikes.
I mean, that collapse was just so fast and so ruthless. Every time Doggo just said, all right, when you threw down the ultimate and tore the position apart, go out first or in
and they get all the petals. Those petals are a big deal.
Yeah, CFO really kind of swings, eh? Look, the hook is in the same the ulti comes through from keeping it back in place. And again, what's supposed to be a quick 43? How does CFO keep doing this? So they just constantly have the numbers managing any play that Casey make.
So Yike is nuts about how this one's going. And it's like we were talking about before, it's just not the level of coordination that we come to expect, right? CFO, it's like they're a hive mind now. Maybe that's what we mean by Junjin, right? It's just his brain is operating all 5 champions. But there's like an individual version of his brain all of them that is somewhat connected, but working independently. It's not just great multitasking, it's just more of him.
Right, as he has pretty much done throughout the game. He has on there.
I still comes down and Doggo immediately flashing away from
pretty much done throughout the game. He does not care. Right. He has pretty much done throughout this game.
It's them that are maybe that's
Talia pushed.
can work independently.
Watching. Talia's not on the turret. She's not showing on the wave, so she may have shifted. The Scion has first move. We hop over and we initiate a dumb fucking idea, which kills him. Dude, what are these fight ideas by them? Like, what am I actually watching? Do they actually think this stuff is gonna work? Like, support and jungle are just doing, and like, Vladdy's putting himself in these situations as well, are just trying to, like what is this?
I swear, I didn't.
I don't understand why Vladdy went over the wall. Like, if the idea is that we're just chunking him, that's okay. But why did Vladdy go over the wall? Because it looks like they're just chunking him. Maybe it's not even support jungle's issue. This just looks like fucking mid's issue. Like, Vladdy's brain is just exploding. It's actually exploding.
They're not doing anything crazy. All their players find themselves in comfort. And they're playing around the strengths. We got to see the advantage of the problems of Rumble in game 1, and try to bring up Simon in game 2. The distinction in the playstyles, and how changes in the which is a massive beat shield in comparison to the follow-up. The rest was providing on Rumble. And this is a battle Simon as well. That's kind of hard. Yeah, it's actually, he already had pretty good. Simon is being possible. Yeah, this is side lane Simon. And like, I know you're pretty good on the same side of the side lane. This is Lee's at the end, and that will go down extraordinarily quickly. I don't know, man. This is looking rough. Casey, can they find the low engage to make something happen? So Pokemon having to stop it. With this, the wall set play, they can push Simon into the wall. He's forced to out there.
Killer wall.
Yeah, prison playing on top of that. He's going to make a trade in turrets, but they could be playing well. And trade up the CFO. Or move down to try and catch this. So with the ground buff, we're going to play. We'll go back home as one game have to be for this time. I mean, if we kind of go back to the start of this game, it was a situation where Casey finally got themselves winning 2-2 and Jimmy shut that down. And then what Casey wanted to do, they were trying to build advantages because they started pushing. When CFO respond, they just find 5 after 5 constant advantage, and they swing. Even though they don't do it again, objective to keep winning all the fights. Now they find themselves securing the first game we have again. They set themselves up in the and watching the Casey we have, because they probably 5 I think the CFO back to this once again. Yeah, this is the problem with falling against competition has 2 tanks, right? I mentioned the fact that there might be damage issues, but not anymore, right? These tanks are even doing more damage. The problem is, if this style of competition gets ahead, it is so much harder to find an angle back in. That's why we often say that your team that has damage, how to execute. You still have to be very careful. If you want to it's a really common problem. It's not really the case yet. That's I think why you say that this is far more of a...
I don't know, man. I know I get to this case where I start saying I don't know when I'm trying to think, like, what can the losing team do? But what can they do? Like, the Jace did the old school build, which I don't like. He definitely should just be pumping. Is that even Gliss's fault? No, no cleanse.
More of this team as we get deeper into first stand, because I've heard some pretty big talk about Honkyu and what he has is now.
Does he have flash?
Because I've heard
yes,
some
flash.
pretty
Just flash.
as we get
he really
deeper
thought
into
he was
first
not gonna
stand,
die, huh?
Because I've heard some
I bet Honkyu flashes over, right?
big talk about
He just has R.
Honkyu and what he has is now Gliss in trouble
Fucking
once
ridiculous.
again, and just picked up
Definitely
and
a
destroyed
bad game by
another
Gliss, that's for
gorgeous
sure. Like the way, honestly, this is the second time I've seen his Varus, and I'm not impressed. I don't like him on the pick.
CFO have made it look easy. A convincing game 2 with very few windows of opportunity. They continue to punish, and it's just the fact that Junior's just such an effective driving force. He finds good angles to make plays happen. 1-1 and 11 the scoreline for him. All of these engages and stop play does manage to get ulti and gets himself out of there. He pay the price.
I'm not gonna fall. I'm not gonna fall yike for that. I will say that for sure, Honkyu, like you can see the macro issues that he has, but he definitely competes, man. He competes, and that's a hell of a pickup by them. Having a kid like that on the team, that's awesome. This team. So the thing is, I think fight-wise, they definitely can compete versus TL. But the issue I'm having is just that TL is better macro. I mean, TL just has better like game plans and like has more knowledge on how to actually make comebacks. And I don't know if CFO can beat that.
Lies between them and the enemy.
The LPL is just a bad matchup just because the LPL just has very good fighters, right? I don't think LPL's macro is really that insane, to be honest. But they do have really good fighters, and that's probably just going to be the end of it. And then, of course, HLE is just supreme in both. So there's no chance. It's just absolutely no chance.
Thinking about going for heroic engage.
No Verisar again.
Corruption. That's some buttons on cooldown now. As the glacial prison, it'll ring true.
That's all she wrote. Yeah, that's all she wrote. Okay, so MVP of this game is... Okay, low-key, it actually might be Kai Wing. I mean, I think the times that he's face-checking are pretty good, and he had a pretty stellar game overall, man. It was a pretty stellar game, honestly. The worst player of the game, it's Vladdy. I'm not gonna lie, it might actually just be Vladdy for like what he's doing. Don't get me wrong. Again, I think, dude, these two here. This was a bad game by Targ as well. Like, you know, you could probably put Targ in the same category, but like, once again, I feel like we're in a position where these two are just really not performing, and it's really, really hurting. Like, Driver was just okay. I'm not even going to put okay, good. He was just okay. Great. Good. He was good. I really liked what he did. Honestly, I really liked what he did. I mean, you could just pretty put one check mark, whatever the case is. This was okay, bad. This was okay, bad. 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 Okay, good. I don't like what this. I don't like his Varus. This is the second time I've seen his Varus, and both times I just feel like the way he plays it is not ideal. So for KC, I mean, they took a lot of bad fights, and even in some of the fights, their execution's like not right. And I'm kind of curious where this is gonna go, because when they played against G2 in the first series in playoffs, G2 was more on top of like playing things correctly. And naturally, KC just lost. And then KC beat G2, and G2 just played the most disgusting gameplay. Like, honestly, like they were playing so bad that they just won. Because KC were just like, I mean, they were just on top of things. I mean, like, when the enemy team is playing that bad, like, it's just, yeah, that's why it was a 3-0. And now that they're going into these matches where, like, these teams are competitive, like, they're ready to go, they're struggling. And I still got to check back to see, like, does this team actually do bad versus teams that bad against teams that or bad against teams when they're behind? Like, I'm genuinely curious. But for now, with HLE left and Test left for them, I don't know, man. If you're playing this bad in fights, you're not going to beat either of those two teams. And that'll be it for KC. Hopefully it doesn't end that way, but it's kind of looking like that.